Saturday afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another video. And it has been a while since I've been down in my library and giving you guys bookish content. Well, today I have my July book haul. Yeah, I just had to get more. I got a load here, I tell you what. So, I got books from Amazon. That's most of my haul, actually. Barnes & Noble, TrianaHorror.com, and Cracker Barrel. So, a lot of different entities where books are sold. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with my pickup from Cracker Barrel. This is Haunted Hotels, Eerie Inns, Ghoulish Guests, and Creepy Caretakers by Tom Ogden. So, I got this on the way to Holiday World in Santa Claus, Indiana earlier this month. We were in Mount Vernon, Illinois, I believe, and we ate Cracker Barrel for breakfast that day. So, Cracker Barrel had a Halloween section, and I picked this one up. So, pretty self-explanatory what it is. It's just like different stories of haunted hotels. You have the Eastern States, the Central States, the Mountain States, and the Western States. So there's like 33 chapters in here, all about famous hauntings and famous hotels. So, this one sounded interesting. Here it is. And the single book that I got off of Triana Horror was Because You're Mine by Christopher Triana, and this was part of a signed bundle. There's his signature right there, and this is his new novella that doesn't even come out until August. So I snatched a copy, and I also made a very short video of showing this package off. I got a shirt, a button, a couple bookmarks, and a bloody syringe pin. Pretty cool stuff. But I never did tell you what this was about. Well, here it is. Brian's elderly mother is terminally ill, and that's the way he likes it. Mom comes from old money, making it easy for Brian to hire an in-home nurse. But he's looking for someone to provide a special kind of treatment, something he's long fantasized about. Shelby is a nurse with a horrible secret. When she begins caring after Brian's mother, the two strike up an unlikely kinship, bonding over their troubled past and hidden desires. Together, the older Brian begins teaching Shelby classic methods of diabolism, and she teaches them about the modern tools of their terrifying trade, making them a duo to die for. So this is an extreme horror romance, and I uttered romance, so this definitely sounded pretty good. And every chapter has a syringe there. So this one's probably going to be pretty messed up, and I definitely can't wait to read it. But that is Because You're Mine by Christopher Triana. And moving on to my Amazon pickups, which is most of my haul. Let me adjust myself. I didn't mean that in a weird way. Sup. Okay, so these are the books that I ordered off of Amazon throughout the month. And that first book I want to show off is The Boys in the Valley, or Boys in the Valley, by Philip Fracassi. This has been going all over BookTube. And this one is literally about like a group of boys at an orphanage, and later on they invite some type of evil into this orphanage. So this has been compared to Lord of the Flies meets The Exorcist. This definitely sounds up my alley. And it takes place in the early 20th century. This one sounds incredibly good. So that is Boys in the Valley. Followed by two books by the same author that I have a little bit of interest in. And that first book is The Horror by David Sodergren. That's right. And this is known to be a very depressing book, but extremely gory. I'm going to read the synopsis. I don't fear death, but they do. Muriel Macaulay has lived in the Scottish fishing village of Witch Haven all her life. She was born there and she intends to die there. But when an overseas property developer threatens to evict the residents from their homes and raze Witch Haven to the ground in the name of progress, all seems lost. Until the day a mysterious fog bank creeps inland. The horror. To some it brings redemption, to others it brings only madness and death. What macabre secrets lie within? The horror. Romantic and deranged, The Horror is a gore-soaked folk horror fairy tale. That was a mouthful. From David Sodergren, author of The Forgotten Island, which you'll see in a minute, and Maggie's Grave. So, this runs at $209. 200 exactly. There we go. But this one sounded very good, and I definitely do want to try David Sodergren out. He's got quite a bit of a bibliography. So that is the first one. The Forgotten Island is basically like a folk horror slasher, I believe. But I'm going to read the back as well. When Anna Logan agrees to go on holiday to Thailand with her estranged sister Rachel, she hopes it will be a way for them to reconnect after years of drifting apart. But now stranded on a seemingly deserted island paradise with no radio and no food, reconciliation becomes a desperate fight for survival. For when night falls on the Forgotten Island, the dark secrets of the jungle reveal themselves. Something is watching them from the trees, something ancient, something evil. Combining the cosmic horrors of H.P. Lovecraft with the grimy sensibilities of the video nasties, The Forgotten Island is an outrageous old-school horror novel packed with mayhem, and violence. See, this one definitely sounds more of my alley. So, this thing's going to be gnarly. But that is The Forgotten Island. And this cover just screams nostalgia. But that is The Forgotten Island by David Sodergren. Followed by count them, 3 splatter Western novels. So, the first one I want to show off is How the Skin Sheds by Chad Lutzke. And this is about when Garrett Walkinshaw pays a visit to his sister, he finds her murdered, throat sliced, and nipples missing. His albino niece left emotionally scarred on her bed. Determined on getting revenge, the two set out after the killer, following a bloody trail of skin-lacking bodies. After Garrett's best friend, a recently freed slave, joins the road trip hunt, they're forced to teach Garrett's niece the dark world of survival and assassination in the gritty Wild West, when they're met with myriad of roadblocks in the form of evil lawmen, bizarro brothers, a swamp witch, and more. Happen Leonard meets Leon the professional chasing down Ed Gein. Yeah, this one sounds gnarly as hell. And this is only like 100 pages exactly. So, this is probably like the shortest one I got. But my God, look at that cover art. It's so brutal but colorful. That was How the Skin Sheds by Chad Lutzke. And these two that I got right now actually came today with another book that I want to show off after these two. But anyway, the second splatter Western I got this month, Here Comes the Sun by Justin M. Woodward. And this is basically says there had been talk of monsters around the small, quiet town of Fort Whipple for some time before the evening of the brutal massacre. First there was the livestock, dead, shriveled bodies lined the fields, drained of their blood. But when human bodies began falling from the sky, a dark protector of sorts is dispatched to minimize the casualties. So I don't know what to make of this, but it sounds almost like a vampire novella, which, spoiler alert, you might have to wait till October for a certain theme. But this one definitely sounded pretty dope. This one goes to 131. And not to mention, almost reminds me of Blade in a way. So that was Here Comes the Sun. Do. I had to. And that final splatter Western I got was Cruel Angels Past Sundown by Haley Piper. And this is the second female author that I have of the splatter Western series. The other one is Kenzie Jennings with Red Station, but I thought I'd added this one. This is takes place in the New Mexico Territory in 1882. She comes to the Klein Ranch at sunset, a strange, naked, pregnant woman dragging a cavalry saber. Annette Klein and her husband have built peace between their marriage and secret relations beyond. but their serenity dies in bloodshed tonight through a cannibalistic demon and a mad preacher. Annette barely escapes the bloodbath to the nearby town of Lowe's Bend, where she might find safety with a shotgun-toting barkeep, to no-nonsense boarding room ladies, and the gun-slinging bounty hunter who's captured Annette's heart. But hell is at her heels. If she's going to survive until dawn, she'll have to forget everything she knows about peace and mercy, and face a hollow malevolence more ancient and ruthless than she's ever imagined. So, the blurb on here says it's almost kind of like a surreal nightmare. So, this one sounds really, really good. And I gotta mention, these covers are fantastic. So, that is Cruel Angels Past Sundown. And that final book will probably make you wonder, what the hell are you reading? Prepare yourselves. It's pretty gnarly. Scary Bastard by Aaron Beauregard. Yeah. Aaron Beauregard. I jumped on the bandwagon. God help me. And the back is pretty gnarly too. So, this is basically an extreme horror slasher that takes place on Halloween. So, this definitely sounds really fucked up, man. But there's a ton of pictures in here that I want to show off as well. So, yeah, this definitely sounds really, really messed up, and definitely a good Halloween read. I mean, come on. That cover alone screams Halloween. But that was Scary Bastard. And I forgot to read what it says on top. This Halloween, the sanitarium doors have opened for spine-tingling Sam Hain slaughter. I have no idea what I'm in for, but I'm all for it. But that is my first Aaron Beauregard book. Scary Bastard. And he's actually going to be here for AuthorCon in October. I cannot wait to go there. There will be more details about that when it comes closer. But those are the books I got on Amazon. And I have 3 more from Barnes & Noble. I Was a Teenage Slasher by Stephen Graham Jones. And this is actually signed. So look at that, I got 2 signed books. But this is about a teenager who has very weird thoughts of possibly being a slasher. I was a teenage slasher. But I'm going to read a little bit of this. La Mesa, Texas, July 1989. It's the summer before senior year for best friends Tolly Driver and Amber Dennison. They're not in the marching band, they're not in the FFA. They don't really count. Amber's the only native student in town, and Tolly's only on the radar due to his father's recent death. This is all about to change. Bodies are going to be dropping fast in this small West Texas town. For a few unbearably hot days that will resonate through the decades and even get made into a TV movie, Tolly and Amber will be famous, notorious even. Finally, everyone will know their names. This is Stephen Graham Jones X-raying the slasher genre, interrogating its motivations over the shoulder and in the voice of the killer itself. From a town he did some growing up in a year he was also 17. The kills will be poignant, the jokes will hurt, and the violence will be endearing. Everything's turned around for Tully, for Amber, for all of La Mesa, Texas. Be happy you weren't there. Be happy you're only reading about it. So, I've only read one book by Stephen Graham Jones thus far, but I really want to get back into him and at least try his Indian Lake trilogy and this one. I mean, it definitely sounds up my alley. So, this isn't like some manuscript. Thank God for that. It's just a straightforward horror novel. But that is, I was a teenage slasher. But you can't really pin that on me, though. I gotta shut up now. The next book I want to show off is I Am Legend by Richard Matheson. Yeah, I finally decided to dive into this thing. This is a classic apocalyptic vampire horror novel that is basically about the last man on Earth fighting a deadly vampiric virus. So, seen the movie with Will Smith a few times, but I've never read the book. So, very happy to have this in my hands. And that is I Am Legend. My copy goes to 312. So, should be a pretty fast read, I hope. But there's that. And the final book. This one's been going through BookTube a lot too. Incidents Around the House by Josh Mallerman. And this is about a family who move into a brand new house. It's told by the perspective of an 8-year-old girl named Bella, I believe. And she's starting to see something in her closet or something. And she calls it Other Mommy. So this one sounds pretty creepy. And I heard it actually is really, really creepy. So, might be a very fun one. This goes to 367. So another not chunky boy, but still pretty chunky to me. But that was the last and final book that I wanted to show off in this video. I got a lot this month, and I didn't even intend on getting that much. But I digress. But those are the books I got in July. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. And later on tonight, I will finally give you guys my Deadpool and Logan thoughts. So basically, Deadpool 2, Logan, and Deadpool and Wolverine. So stay tuned for that video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios. Peace. My next one might actually be my August TBR, so I might go ahead and film that down here as well. So got to get that situated, but look out for that one. Okay, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.